Who would like to guess what this is? Who?
The little engine that could.
That's right, it's the little engine that could.
Brayden readed it. He's a reader boy.
That's right, he is a reader boy. And isn't it cool to be a reader boy?
I read that.
It is.
I'm a reader
Now,
boy.
does anyone have any idea what this word is?
Product.
Close.
Protag.
On, is. Protagonist. Does anyone have any idea what a protagonist is? No? Does anyone have any idea what a main character is in a book? Now, who's the main character in SpongeBob? SpongeBob went to the Krusty Krab one day, and he made some Krabby Patties, and then Patrick came in and said, "Hey, SpongeBob, can I have a Krabby Patty?" And SpongeBob said, "Okay, Patrick, I'll give you a Krabby Patty." And he gave him a Krabby Patty, and Patrick said, "This is delicious, thanks, SpongeBob." Now, who is the main character in the story? The main character is the person who's in all of the scenes, who's always in the story. Who would that be, Alyssa? SpongeBob. So SpongeBob is the main character in that story. So in the story, I'm going to tell a story about the little engine that could, and when I do, I need you to be able to tell me who is the main character in the story, okay? And another word for the main character is protagonist, okay? Can everyone say this? Protagonist. Another thing that we need to learn in regard to this story is the setting. Remember the SpongeBob story? What did SpongeBob do? Where did he go? To the Krusty Krab, that's right. To go. So, with Patrick was there, and SpongeBob was there, and SpongeBob went up and said, "Hi Patrick, how are you today?" And where did he go? Went to the Krusty Krab. The Krusty Krab is the setting. The setting is where the story takes place, where the story is. The protagonist is the main person in the story, who the story is about, okay? The main character. The protagonist is the main person in the story, like SpongeBob. The setting is the place where SpongeBob is at, like the Krusty Krab. Does everyone understand? Now, who was the main character in that SpongeBob story? Who was the protagonist? SpongeBob was. Where was the setting? Where did it take place? I can't remember. The Krusty Krab. I'm going to read you a story, and then after the story, I'm going to ask you to name the protagonist, the main character, and the setting, where it takes place. I thought I could. I thought I could. Did you like that story? Okay. Now, remember the questions I asked at the beginning. I said we were going to learn about the protagonist and the setting. And the protagonist is the character, the main character who's in all the scenes, Elijah, Javier. Who do you think is the main character? Who do you think is the protagonist in this book? Lyric, who do you think is the protagonist in this book? The main character, who's in there all the time? The blue little train. Remember what we said about this word, setting. Now, setting is the place where the story is. So what do you think the setting would be for this story? What do you think, Javier? Do you think it might be the hill? Do you think it might be the hill? Okay. So you're right. You're right. The countryside and the hill is the setting for the story. So who is the protagonist in the story? The main character? The blue engine? Okay, and what's the protagonist again?
The person that...
The main character, yep. And what is the setting?
The hill.
And what is a setting? It's where it takes place. Now, I want you to remember that because we're going to read this book again tomorrow, and I'm going to ask you, can everyone remember what the protagonist and the setting are? Okay, I'm going to ask you tomorrow, okay?